Time for another subclass from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Today we'll be talking about the College of Eloquence Bard.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
And I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds.
Now let's dive back into subclasses of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
All right, today, as we mentioned, we're going to be looking at Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. We're going to look at the Bard for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, the College of Eloquence. We've gotten to see this one used a little bit in one of my own games, my Quarter Worms games, which every time I run this game, I make up a map over on Dungeon Fog, and then I take those maps and put them over on our Patreons as just like an extra thing. They're not amazing. I use it for like 1/10 of what you can do with it. But, you know, I figured, hey, some of you folks might want to check out the maps we're making. So if you happen to be a patron, you get to, you know, download those for free and get access to them.
Along with everything else that, you know, we do with our patrons.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff we do over there. There'll be a link in the description if you care about such things. So now, Ted, you know, you're playing in that game, the Quarter Worms game, and we actually have a College of Eloquence Bard in that game. So we've kind of seen a little bit of what they can do.
Yeah, it's pretty darn impressive. And, you know, when you're used to seeing, you know, bards who are already outstanding at the conversational arts, you know, but it absolutely blows it away. If this character has a chance to just start talking, it's like they've got that silver tongue and everything just seems to like go and roll their way. And it's not dice. It's, you know, the mechanics of how this particular character is built.
Yeah, it's essentially like they can't get less than like a 19, I think, or something ridiculous. And they're not that high a level. And we're going to get into like why that's so very shortly. But before we do, I would just want to ask, does anyone else have experiences with this particular college yet? Are you playing it? What do you think about it? How does it compare to some of the other colleges? I mean, up until this point, I feel like, you know, College of Lore is one of the best. But, you know, Tasha's Cauldron and everything is really up the ante a bit. Let us know down in the comments.
You can also you know, help us out by doing all those things. You know, like, share, subscribe, even attune to that notification bell.
And just a quick reminder, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, come back to the channel because we drop new videos about Dungeons & Dragons, and occasionally we even talk about other things. So come on back. With that, let's jump into it. Let's jump into our College of Eloquence Bard, Ted.
All right. Adherents of the College of Eloquence master the art of oratory. Persuasion is regarded as a high art, and a well-reasoned, well-spoken argument often proves more persuasive than facts. These bards wield a blend of logic and theatrical wordplay, winning over skeptics and detractors with logical arguments and plucking at heartstrings to appeal to the emotions of audiences.
So Tasha herself kind of weighs in on this a little bit. There's like, you know, one of the quotes from Tasha. Note to self, revisit, work on speech negating spell, necessity level, you're bleeding.
And that's because they've got a silver tongue right at 3rd level. You're a master at saying the right thing at the right time. When you make a charisma persuasion check or charisma deception check, you can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as 10. Now, once you couple this with the fact that they're a bard and have the ability to have expertise in certain skills, if you put that in your, you know, persuasion and or deception checks, you can really double down and have those things that just totally skyrocket. So I you know, we've gotten our first feat, so at that point in time, it's entirely possible for the character to have, you know, an 18. You know, our, you know, proficiency.
Well, next level, you'll get your first stat adjustment.
Okay. You know, so like it's certainly crazy to be able to have these, you know, high ridiculous rolls. And, you know, this concept isn't new. You know, we see it, you know, with the rogue's reliable talent, but that is a significantly higher level that you get that ability. That ability is only on 2 skills.
Yeah, and also
you know, but it's, you know, it's crazy the level difference. You know, rogues get it at 10. Well, this is getting it at 3rd. That's crazy. And if you were to max out charisma, not be proficient, that's still a 15 without even trying.
Yeah, it's 11th level, but close enough. So, you know, yeah, it's pretty strong. And also, like there's skills that bards tend to be good at anyway, and it's not uncommon for a bard to take expertise in either of those skills. But we're not done at 3rd level. We also get unsettling words. You can spin words laced with magic that unsettle a creature and cause it to doubt itself. As a bonus action, you can spend 1 use of your bardic inspiration, choose 1 creature you can see within 60 feet of you, roll the bardic inspiration die. The creature must subtract that number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of the next turn. I've seen this used to great effect in my own game with one of our players. They're constantly doing it. It's a bonus action, so the same round you plan on hitting someone with a spell, you can absolutely do it to them.
Yeah, it's a 1-2 punch. You know, you use your bonus action first, you unsettle them, and bam, you hit them with a whammy. You know, whether you're trying to, stun them, or whether you're setting them up for, someone else's, whammy on their next turn in the order, it absolutely can be devastating.
Yeah, it's definitely a good use of a bardic inspiration die.
All right, so at 6th level, you get unfailing inspiration. Your inspiring words are so persuasive that others feel driven to succeed. When a creature adds 1 of your bardic inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll fails, the creature can keep the bardic inspiration die.
Yeah, I mean, that's super strong. Like, basically, you have inspiration for the next minute until you don't, right? Until you use it successfully, essentially. So that's super handy, comes in clutch, and it's just a gift that's going to keep on giving.
You know, there's nothing worse than having a resource and expending it to still fail. And this removes that fear of like, well, You know what? I used it. It wasn't successful. Oh, well, no problem, because I still have it.
How many times have you had an instance when you're like, I could roll this die, but I need to get a 5 or a 6, and I'm probably just going to waste it. I'm just going to wait. Now it's like, you know what? I got nothing to lose.
100% correct. It's happened quite a bit, and it's clutch. I mean, I think this is rolling all high numbers.
So next up for 6th level, we got more. We get universal speech. You gain the ability to make a speech intelligible to any creature. As an action, choose 1 or more creatures within 60 feet of you, up to a number equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1 creature. The chosen creatures can magically understand you regardless of the language you speak for 1 hour. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of any level to use it again. If you're familiar with the channel and us, we love those abilities where you're like, you get to use it a certain amount of times a day, and then in addition to that, you can spend spell slots to use it again. It just gives it more functionality, and sometimes it's a more interesting way to spend those resources.
I love this ability. Anything that's going to encourage more role playing. If a thing has a language and you can't communicate with it, like you just be like, nah, I got this. And you just start talking. The bard is already going to be the face character of any particular group, and a college eloquence bard even more so. So it would only be right that you would just be like, all right, we're going to shove you, deal with these people, please. And you just step in, and you could possibly turn a hostile situation into, something vastly different. Avoid a combat, make an ally, whatever it is that you need to do. This ability is perfect for that. Regardless of anything else, like, I love this ability, would welcome this in my games just to allow, that. And I was a DM, I would be like, all right, what's something weird? What's a weird language that nobody has? Ice Toad. Let's use an Ice Toad here, just because nobody knows that language.
Well, nobody before you had a College of Eloquence bard, that is.
Indeed. So the next subclass ability is not till 14th level, Infectious Inspiration. When you successfully inspire someone, the power of your eloquence can now spread to someone else. When a creature within 60 feet of you adds 1 of your bardic inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll succeeds, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature other than yourself that can hear you within 60 feet of you, giving it a bardic inspiration die without expending any of your bardic inspiration. You can use this reaction number of times equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This basically is going to give you your charisma modifier at the cost of your reaction in extra bardic inspiration, which we've already seen how useful it is. Of once you've given it out, it's a free roll until it succeeds.
Well, isn't your bardic inspiration based on your charisma anyway? So it literally is just doubling it, right?
Indeed.
So at 14th level, you get double the bardic inspiration as anyone else. It will never be wasted and not matter when you roll your bardic inspiration. So like this college gets the most use out of their bardic inspiration of any of the colleges. Is it too strong? I don't know. Like I know I'm having fun dungeon mastering for somebody that is using this college. We haven't gotten to the point where it's the infinite number of inspiration yet, but you know, I think we're more than halfway to that level. So maybe we will see that in that campaign. That character's been super effective so far, but not so much so where I'd say like, oh, this is breaking the game or imbalancing things.
You know, the things to look at, number one is, you know, persuasion is not a skill that is mind control. It is something that, can this person be persuaded? And, you know, the joke about, you know, seducing the queen in the throne room, you know, that's just not going to happen. I don't care how high your charisma is. She is not just going to, you know, woo you right there in front of the king. It is all within the bounds of what is, you know, reasonable. And you as the GM, you have total control. I don't care how good that roll is. It's not going to allow you to break the game unless me as the GM allow you to do so. So, you know, those high rolls, yeah, you're really good at your craft. And and you play this kind of character, I'm going to give you reasons. I'm going to give you things that you can persuade, that you can deceive, because this character is good at it. But I'm going to give you situations where it's like, nah, this is going to be a 30. If you can't hit that, all right, somebody else did it better.
Yeah. It's not a charm person. And, you know, sometimes there is not a roll high enough to accomplish what you're trying to do if it's that outlandish. Again, fun college. I would play this. I would definitely have allowed it in my game. It's definitely a good addition to the Bard.
Absolutely.
So with that, if you want another Bard subclass, check out our video about the College of Creation Bard.
And if you'd like to keep supporting Nerdarchy or help us out, why not check us out over on Patreon?
As a thank you, you'll receive monthly 5e content for players and DMs alike, a chance to game with us, and more.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.